Welcome to the channel. Before we begin, I'd like to ask you to support the project by subscribing to the Telegram and YouTube channels. Click the bell to receive all notifications, like the video if you found it interesting, and leave comments. You can also follow the links in the video description to articles and read them. This will greatly help the channel.
All right, let's get right into it. If you're a fan of scoring amazing deals on sites like AliExpress, you need to know that a major change is coming that's going to hit your wallet. But don't sweat it. In this explainer, we're going to break down exactly what's happening and, more importantly, how you can stay one step ahead. So this is the big question, right? Are all those incredible bargains from around the world about to get buried under a mountain of new taxes and fees? It's a totally fair question, and the answer is, well, it's a little complicated, but stick with me here.
You know that magic €150 rule? The one that let you bring in small packages without paying any customs duties? Well, that free ride is officially coming to an end. It's a huge shift, no doubt about it. But, and this is the most important part, this does not mean the deals are gone. It just means we all need to start shopping a little smarter.
And that's exactly what we're here to do. We're going to walk through the new rules, the strategies, and the totally legal workarounds you can use to make sure you're still getting the absolute best price possible. Let's do this.
Okay, first things first, we have to understand what's at the heart of this change. The EU is launching a completely new system, and it all revolves around one little number. There it is, that €150 duty-free allowance that we've all relied on for years. It is going away on July 1st, 2026. For so long, that was the golden ticket that kept our international orders affordable. But its time is officially up. So what's taking its place? A simple, flat fee of €3. But pay very close attention to that last part. It is not €3 per package. It's €3 per item type. And believe me, understanding that one phrase is the key to mastering this whole new system.
So what on earth is an item type? Basically, it's any group of products that customs classifies as the same thing. This slide shows it perfectly. Let's say you buy 10 pairs of identical cotton socks. That's all one item type. Easy. You pay one €3 fee. But now look at the second example. 5 pairs of cotton socks and 5 pairs of wool socks. To a customs agent, cotton and wool are different materials, so that's 2 different item types. And just like that, your duty doubles to €6. This little detail is everything.
So why is the EU even doing this? Well, look at the sheer volume of stuff coming in. In 2024 alone, we're talking about 4.6 billion low-value parcels entering the EU. That's double the year before, and a mind-boggling 91% of them came from China. The old system just couldn't handle it.
And this shows you just how overwhelmed customs officials were. They were only able to physically inspect a tiny fraction of these packages. I mean, 0.0082%? That's not looking for a needle in a haystack. That's trying to find a specific grain of sand on a beach. It created this massive loophole where anything could slip through. Undervalued goods, unsafe products, you name it. Something had to change.
Okay, enough about the problem. Let's get to the good stuff, the solutions. And there is one strategy that is by far the most powerful one you can use.
I know, I'm not kidding. This isn't some shady trick or a temporary loophole. There is a simple, completely legal way to avoid these new duties altogether.
The big secret is this: shop from warehouses that are already located inside the European Union. Since the items are already in the EU, they don't have to cross an external border to get to your door. And that means no customs check and no new duty. On platforms like AliExpress, it's as simple as using the Ship From filter and choosing a country like Poland, Spain, or France. It's really that easy.
And the advantages are just massive. When you put them side by side, it's a no-brainer. Shipping from an EU warehouse means zero duty, you get your stuff in days instead of waiting for weeks, and there's no risk of your package getting stuck in customs limbo. It's faster, it's safer, and pretty soon it's going to be a whole lot cheaper. This is your new go-to move.
Okay, but what if that thing you really want isn't stocked in an EU warehouse? Don't worry, you still have some plays to make. This is where we get a bit more strategic, and it all goes back to that item type rule we talked about.
Remember, the fee is per item type. This means the new system actually rewards you for buying in bulk as long as you're buying multiples of the exact same thing. 10 identical phone cases? That's one item type, one €3 fee. But if you start mixing and matching, one case, one cable, one screen protector, that's 3 different item types, and boom, your duty just tripled to €9. The takeaway here is to consolidate identical items in one order.
Now here is another absolutely critical tip. You have to make sure you're buying from a platform that's registered with the IOSS system. That stands for Import One Stop Shop, and AliExpress is part of it. This means your VAT gets collected when you check out. Why is this so important? Because it stops the delivery company from holding your package hostage and charging you a ridiculous handling fee of 10 or 20 euros just to process the payment. iOS means no nasty surprises and no delays.
All right, let's talk about what not to do. A lot of the old tricks that people used to try to get around customs, well, now they're not just useless, they're actually pretty risky.
So forget about asking sellers to mark a lower value on the package. Custom systems now are smart enough to automatically flag something that looks way too cheap. Splitting orders is completely pointless now since the fee applies no matter the value. And that old mark it as a gift trick, that loophole is slammed shut. Trying any of these is just asking for your package to get seized and maybe even a penalty on.
And finally, let's look a little further down the road. Because this whole €3 flat fee thing, it's just a temporary fix. The EU already has a permanent system planned, and you need to know what's coming next. So here's the timeline. Right now, this is your last chance to buy under the old duty-free rules. Then, in July 2026, that temporary €3 fee kicks in. But then, in March 2028, the system changes again. The flat fee disappears and gets replaced by a permanent system based on a percentage of your item's value.
And this is where things get really strategic. Under that 2028 system, different categories will have different tax rates. Electronics, for example, will probably have a super low duty rate, maybe even zero, making them a better deal to buy after 2028. But clothing could face rates of 12% or even higher. That means a €100 clothing order would suddenly have a €12 duty, 4 times higher than the temporary fee. This creates a strategic window between 2026 and 2028 to stock up on high-duty items like apparel.
So look, the era of duty-free impulse buys is pretty much over, but it's being replaced by a system that actually rewards smart, planned shopping. By using EU warehouses, consolidating your orders intelligently, and understanding the timeline, you can absolutely keep finding amazing value online. The game is changing, but the power is still in your hands. The real question is, how will you adapt your strategy?